excitingly than me, joining me on stage, we have a few people who are going to be going through this absolutely live demo with me. So if anything happens, that's good. It's supposed to. It's a live game. So we have Nick Conkle joining us, Rich Lambert, Gina Bruno, and Eric Bakudis. And also joining me are a lot of people watching from home, a team that has made this possible. So if you guys can just say hi to them, that would be great. All right. All right. Thank you so much. So without too much further ado, we're going to give you this look at Elder Scrolls Online, and we're going to go ahead and jump in. All right. So this is the first thing you will see when you get into the game is character creation. And Nick is going to take you through this a little bit. One of the first choices you'll make in a game that's all about choices is which alliance do you want to join. Because it is time of war right now. And the time of war is all about you fighting a battle with your friends, against people you don't know, all over the game. And now we're going to let Nick kind of show you. And hopefully I'll do a little less talking as this goes through, and you get to see more. All right. So Nick's going to take a character that's not brand new. We're going to take you into a different area. If you are familiar with the game Morrowind, then you might see some recognizable landscape and features in what we're about to show you. We're about to show you. And it's an area called Deshaun. So where there are a lot of people that played Morrowind, I take it? All right. So, you know, kind of the story of the alliance that's taking place here that we'll see shortly is that these alliances we have the Nords, we have the Dark Elves of the Dunmer, and we have the Argonians. And there's a lot of people who want to know, well, why are these people allied? Why would they be allied? Well, naturally they wouldn't because they used to be natural enemies. But after such a time of war like this, or where they had it, so many invasions come into it, they were just like, okay, we're done with this. We can't stand it. We're not going to put up with it. And so they decided to form an alliance. And so you're coming into that alliance right here. Okay, one of the first things you may notice is that Nick is playing in first-person mode. So really important is to get in that first-person mode. Nick can also play in third person. I promise you the third person's good. If you want that situational awareness in PvP, it's great. Now you might also notice how smooth Nick's controls seem. Not only is Nick good, but we have mouse look always on. These are controls like, I don't know, has anybody here ever played an FPS? Do you know what that is? If so, the control should feel familiar to you. So Nick just presses his left mouse button to attack. He holds it down if he wants to do a heavier attack, or to block, he just hits his right mouse button. Now Nick is also looking around the world. If you notice in the top center, Nick has a compass. And that compass gives him what we call points of interest, right? And what that is, if you see that, he's looking at a way shrine right now. He can turn around and he can look at different things. We want this to be a game of exploration, a game where you can play any way you want to play. If you see something over in the horizon that you want to go do, you should go do that. All right, there's a Gwar and a book behind a Gwar. So these books, again, encouraging this exploration. When you find books like this, it's more than just finding a book that you can read, although that's all right. We also have the books reward you for your exploration efforts. So if Nick pulls up his skill screen here, then what I'll show you is that not only do you get the skills that you have as part of your class, but when you join the Mages Guild, the Fighters Guild, or maybe become a vampire or werewolf, you have these entire skill lines available to you that you pick up sort of dynamically. So on the right-hand side, what you're seeing is an entire skill line for the Mages Guild. On the left, you see all of the different skill lines Nick's acquired. And you can see that class, if Nick clicks on class, you have 3 different skill lines. And now what you're seeing is what we call a morph choice. So as you kind of use a skill over and over, you gain in strength with that skill. And then Nick has made a choice so you can actually take and make that skill kind of behave the way you want it to behave. And so that's just rewarding that growth again.
Need to lighten your load.
Justice knows no sleep. Neither does profit. When there's trouble, prices go up. That's why I'm here.
Indeed, it is fully voiced.
The TC pays me well to make sure there's no trouble. So do me a favor and don't start any.
All right, it is indeed time for Nick to start trouble. All right, Nick. So that was a little look at Deshaun. We're going to take you to another area in Morrowind, and this area is called Stone Falls. Now what you'll notice is Nick is teleporting pretty easily here. So we think that world exploration is a huge part of the game, but not only is world exploration a part, but we want you to be able to get to where you've been quickly. So we've developed a waypoint system, or way shrines, that allow you to travel to each of the way shrines in the game that you've already discovered. All right, Nick's about to start some trouble. Okay, Nick's pretty high level. Did you notice that Nick just crouched and he became hidden? So that uses his stamina when he's crouched like that. And he gets a sneak shot in. And maybe you noticed that Nick changed his weapons with just the press of a button there and went to dual wield. Any character can use any weapon in this game. Your class does not affect that. You can use any armor. All right. Now let's see if Nick can find anything else new and interesting. You might see a netch here or two. Anybody remember netches? There will be plenty of killing later. We talked about discovery being a part of the game. When you discover new things, you get experience for that. You raise in power for your character. Nick's being restrained today. All right, and that's what we call a Mundus stone. So again, looking around the world, you'll find lots of different things. And in this case, he found something that'll give him a power that he'll keep for a long time. But you know, this game is called Elder Scrolls Online for a reason, and that's because you get to play with other people. So Nick's going to use something that we call looking for group. You might be familiar with something like this. And he's decided he wants to play with other people. And so he's going to try to find a group who's interested in doing the same thing he's going to want to do, which he wants to play a dungeon today called Fungal Grotto, which is an early level dungeon. So we'll see if he can find other people. Strangely enough, he did find other people. And here we are. Now we talked about as well being able to travel to places you've already been. But what if you just want to get into the game really quickly and meet your group mates? Well, you can travel to one of your group mates or to a safe location near your group mates. And so here Nick is traveled to a way shrine, which is the safest location near one of his group members, because if you traveled right to them, they might be in a,
To me, stranger.
indeed, a troubling situation that they couldn't get out of. So I want to put you in a safe spot. All right, and Nick's found a sky shard. If you collect 3 sky shards, you get a skill point. And if you get a skill point, you get to buy a new ability or morph an ability. All right, dungeon time? Okay, so in order for this to go a little quicker, I'm going to give you a little bit of the story here, which is there is a person in this dungeon who requests that your group help her to get to a certain location in the dungeon, but she's blocked by goblins and by what we call dreg. And so she suggested that there might be a way to kill goblins and recruit them to help you get to that location.